Water main breaks happen every day. Sometimes they lead to maybe a flooded road or a street closure or other things.
Yeah, absolutely. But other times it can also have some disastrous consequences. So investigative reporter Candace Harris spoke with residents in one village who say bursting water lines are ruining people's lives and officials need to step in and help.
Yeah, so what you see behind me, this is downtown Mainville, Ohio. I'm told many of these homes are about 100 years old. And thanks to the sheer force of gushing water, some of those homes, they'll never look the same.
For more than 45 years, Gus Bunnell has called Mainville home. October 25th, 2023 was a day Bunnell tells me was like none other when he and his wife were woken up by a strange sound.
We heard rocks bouncing off the window and we thought it was hail. So we went downstairs and looked outside. That water main from the street was spraying to my house, just rocks, just tons and tons of water.
The damage was extensive. Ceiling destroyed, windows broken, carpet ruined. Bunnell tells me he immediately filed a claim with Warren County. Just 2 days after the main burst, Bunnell says he received this letter from the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. It says their investigation determined Warren County is not liable for the damage to his home. Bunnell says his insurance has helped some, but not nearly enough to cover the roughly $50,000 needed to fix his home.
But I think since it's out there on the street and it's their main, they should be responsible.
Bunnell lives in that home, but it still has no carpet or windows.
It's been difficult, but me and the wife, we've handled it pretty well.
And Bunnell isn't alone. You only have to walk a few steps to find another patch and another story of a person who was awoken in the middle of the night.
I was yelling for my son to get up. He was in the room on that side of the house. And I told him to put his mattress over the window to try to keep the water out. And the mattress folded in half and there was nothing we could do.
The sounds of construction work echoes through the home as Ronald Wise shows me around. The damage, the result of a water main break in December. Wise says he's paying for repairs out of pocket until his insurance is able to step in. There's no timeline for when he will be able to move back into his home.
The water went from the front of this house through them windows over that and come straight back here, and I'll show you this. This basement was completely flooded up to this gray board.
Oh, wow.
My washer, my dryer, my deep freeze, my furnace, the water heater, everything was floating.
It was all just floating in the water.
Yeah, it was terrible.
The water main breaks aren't just affecting residents. The owner of a salon says they've been bad for business. Without water, I'm told they've had to close multiple times in the past 6 weeks.
We're having water main breaks at least once a week. And one day before Thanksgiving when we were all double booked and ready to make some money, and we had to close and contact all our clients.
Water main breaks are happening so frequently, they've even become a running joke on social media.
Somebody said, we're taking bets. Who wants to bet where the next one is going to hit and when it's going to hit? And people commented on it because that very next day, it happened a street away. And they said, Foster Mainville in 3, 2, 1, and it already hit.
Take a look at this drone video. You can see multiple patches in downtown Mainville, the signatures of additional water main breaks. This comes at a time when the small town is growing, as the population has increased more than 40% over the past decade.
I'm worried. They can't handle all this growth and they just keep adding more pressure to the lines.
I went to the Warren County government office to get answers on why this is happening and what is being done to fix it.
Our issue, I think, in some of this area is that some of the mains that were installed date back to the 1960s. And some of these mains are tired and worn and need to be replaced.
The director of the Water and Sewer Program tells me the structural damage seen at Bunnell and Wise's homes is unique to downtown Mainville because these homes are older and built closer to the road than is standard today.
So you have homes that are within 20 foot of the roadway, and our water line has to fit between the road and those homes. So our mains in this specific area are close to the homes. And so when they pop, when they do have a main break, that water comes out of that main shooting 20, 30 foot in the air. And in this case, unfortunately, these homes are right next to the main and causing some of the structural damage. We never like to see that happen. So that catches our attention. And that's why we're trying to move this project up in our priority list.
When you're talking about trying to prioritize this or move this up more, what steps does that require?
Right now, we're having discussions with contractors about pricing the replacement of this water line. And we're collecting survey information from engineering firms so that we can start the design process. So that process, that design and construction process, potentially will take somewhere around 6 months to do, which, for us, that's expediting it.
When it comes to footing the bill for repairs, Fox 19 Now legal analyst Mike Allen says, in most cases like this, it's left to the residents, thanks to the doctrine of sovereign immunity. It essentially says the government can't be sued without its consent. Exceptions can be made in some cases, like if the government is found to be acting recklessly.
It's extremely frustrating. It really is. I mean, I think the average citizen would think that, hey, if it's the government's, if it's their function and they screwed up, they ought to pay. But the doctrine of sovereign immunity prevents that.
In the meantime, in Mainville, people tell me they are left to wait and hope they're not next.
These water main breaks are destroying people's lives, and it's not okay. We're all pretty angry and pretty scared.
Now, the Warren County Water and Sewer Director does tell me that changing those old water mains would require approval from county commissioners. So we will, of course, stay on top of that and bring you updates as this continues to develop. Candace Hare, Fox 19 Now.
Well, at least you're getting in there and you're helping out with it, right? I mean, what's the next step here?
I mean, that certainly is our job. So you heard that timeline. They said about 6 months for those plans to be developed and those costs to be estimated. So that's certainly a pinpoint time that we're going to be staying on top of.